Good morning, everyone. Kate Boren, Fiona Pearman here for this week's Facebook Live. And Fee, yesterday we did a half-day workshop on communicating with confidence and being heard. And I think what was awesome about this is these sorts of workshops typically really focus on skill building. So, methodology, looking at practicing feedback and delivery and, what are all the tips and tricks? And I think all of that's important, but we really flipped that on the head yesterday.
Yes, I love this, that we don't have to always approach it with a traditional lens. And when we flip things, we get new insights and new understanding. And I think the thing that we notice is people often sign up for courses, or they tell themselves they need more qualifications, or they're waiting to get more experience, but they know that actually that's really on some level just being safe. But it doesn't mean you're actually going to do things differently. It doesn't mean that that's actually going to change things in your world.
Yeah, I think the solution is the strategy, is the easy answer. And I think the opportunity, and certainly what we did yesterday, was we really started with the end in mind, right? Which was, okay, well, where are you not speaking up, where you'd like to start to speak up more? Or where is there a conversation you'd like to start having that you're not having? And all of, just being really clear about the outcome or what we're seeking to achieve here. Because of course, when we get to the capability, not yet, but when we do, we can look specifically at the tactics. But I think there's a really important step before you get to tactics and skills. And that is really looking at what's stopping you right now, as resourced as you are in this moment, from taking that action, from speaking up, from having that conversation, making that contribution, whatever that looks like. But actually from really leaning in and taking action on that goal. And we know that's in most circumstances really about looking at fear. What are the roadblocks? What are the red flags? What's stopping you from taking action? Because if we don't have that conversation, it doesn't matter how resourced you are, how many different strategies or tactics or tips that you've got to be able to start speaking up or to start, taking those small acts of confidence. If we haven't dealt with that fear, it doesn't matter how good the tactics are, you're going to still stay stuck in that, what we often call that fear spiral.
Yes, and we see this all the time, that people wish that it was a simple linear thing. Now I've got these tactics and strategies. Now I know what I need to do, that something will shift and change. And we've just seen so many times with so many clients that this methodology is kind of flawed, because without being clear, without having that clarity, as you said, around the specific area that I'm going to shift and change, and then digging in and understanding what's going on for me, where is it in myself that I actually trip myself up, that I don't do the thing that I said I'd love to do, or in my head I thought I might do, but I'm not actually taking that action. As we start to unpack that and we get a bit more familiar with it, and we look at what's going on for us, we can start to do some things a little bit differently. We often talk about right sizing and dealing with the stuff that's getting in the way, so that we can then choose and do things differently into the future.
Yeah, I think spotlighting, unpacking, right sizing, the roadblocks, the red flags, being able to do that does two things. The first is often they're not as big, certain. The likelihood of them happening when we actually really stare into them is decreased. And so now all of a sudden, we perhaps have more certainty around perhaps taking those acts of confidence or having those conversations. But secondly, I think the really beautiful thing is we actually realize maybe we have everything that we already need. And you and I are huge fans of ongoing education and learning, but I think sometimes we see people try to use that as this magic silver bullet to confidence, and it's not a pathway to confidence. It's one of the 10 building blocks for us, acquiring knowledge, being subject matter experts. Of course, it's part of our sources of confidence, but relying solely on that to help you overcome some of the red flags, the roadblocks, the fears, is not going to get you across the line. So I think, really starting to twofold, get clear about what's something you're seeking to achieve. But secondly, really looking at the red flags, the roadblocks, what's stopping you from taking action. And I think once we do that, we're in a much better position to be resourced, to be able to really then figure out, okay, what is it that I really need? What is it that will really help me shift the dial and make progress on my goals?
Yes. that that I can choose something now from a place of understanding myself, and I know what I've got and what I haven't got, and I'm not relying on, you know, something external to get me across the line. And that shift in consciousness, that awareness, really means that I show up and I can make some decisions about what's really going to help me here. And maybe I've already got what I need. Maybe I'm enough right now to give this a go and to get some more intel that might point me in the direction of something else that I might need, you know, as I go on this journey of exploring my confidence and also exploring what I'm capable of.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it there. If you know someone who would benefit from this or any of our other confidence conversations, please tag them below or feel free to share it with them, of course. If you'd like to be notified when we're going live on our Facebook page, of course, remember to follow us and also head over there. Lots of great resources available there and on our website. And of course, if you'd like to go deeper with your relationship with Core Confidence, visit our website, coreconfidence.com.au.